The swearing in was the next day. I said, don't worry, by tomorrow.
Okay.
Rabbi
Sai, welcome to Yeshiva Daf. Shir sponsored L'Lui Nishma Asayim Yaakov Shalom Leah Basitzchok. We are holding in Horayos Daf Dalit, and we're starting Daf Gimel with base in the bottom, in one line before the end of the Amud. Tanya Rabbi Meir Mechayev Rabbi Shimon Poiter. What does it mean? Talking about Beis Din pasket something, and then Beis Din changed their mind, but the guy doesn't know about it. He didn't realize. So the shaila is now they didn't realize. He said he didn't realize. What's the thing? So we learned the Mishnah. A few shittas. The Gemara is going to go and bring us the brayso that speaks about the shittas. Rameir says he's chayav. Once Beis Din pasket, he should have known. Most Beis Din changed their mind. Shivit Poiter. Shivit says you potter, as we saw yesterday, because the Shivit says no. Once the Beis Din changed your mind, you should have known. What's a suffix? Suffix, as we saw in the Mishnah, means we're not sure if you could say that he could trust, is relying on Beis Din or not. And therefore he brings a korban, Ashur Tolu. Mishum Suchas Amru Tolu. Then he they said Tolu, not Ashur Tolu, but just Tolu. Why Toli? Because the Any Yeshiva are saying the idea is that the Toli means in this case not Ashur Toli, as the Gemara is explaining in a moment. Says the Gemara, that's the chiluk between Rabbi Lazar and Suchos. Lazar says it's a suffix you bring Ashur Toli, but according to Lazar, you say Toli means that I can't give you. It's like hanging. I can't mechayev him anything. Not a chatos and not a Ashur Toli. Ashur Toli you bring always when you don't know if you have chatos, you bring Ashur Toli. But you have to have a certain degree of chiyuv in order for that to happen. That's what the Gemara is going to explain right now. How does a blazer compare this case to what? Person ate something, he's not sure. Is it chalev, is it fat, is it shuman, is it kosher or not? And he found out that he did something, he doesn't know what it is. Maybe Asham, he brings Asham, which Ashur Toli. The gear so here on the side is Ashur Toli. So he brings Ashur Toli. Why? I'm not sure. He brings Ashur Toli. Says one of Dalad. Even not we have machlekes. We mentioned the previous daf. Who is the one who brings the korban? Is it the tzibur or it's the Beis Din? Even if you hold that the tzibur are the ones who bring the korban, and he made it what's befar samil, everybody knows that something was wrong over here because the tzibur is bringing it. And I feel when Beis Din avim the lo yifar samil, so yeah, v'shoy la v'amrulay. Even if Beis Din, he should have asked. And what's the he should have asked? Taina, because he should have asked. So mimele what? Mimele, there is a request or a taina over here that this guy maybe is chayav. Meaning he says I rely on Beis Din. You don't even rely on Beis Din. Beis Din changed their mind. I don't know about it. You should have asked. You should find out.
Every 10 minutes I have to turn around.
No, but if you're about to go and eat the chayil, the ruling was, can you just check if the ruling is still there? It's like similar. If you want to do it today, you go to a restaurant, you check if there's a hash. You check again, check, make another checkup.
Yeah, but every time you walk into the restaurant, you check if there's a
Usually you want to see them.
So then it's not in the end, it's not a good sushi to the Ashur Toli.
Why?
Because you could ask and find out, but Ashur Toli he still doesn't know.
Oh, so that's why good. So here he says the Maaseh he could have asked, but he didn't. So he's like our discussion with Binyamin is basically the same idea. I didn't ask. What do you want me to do? I'm supposed to ask every time?
But you could ask.
Oh, so because of that, that's what makes it a soft.
If Beis Din turns it around, it should be in the first. I don't think it's your obligation that once it's Psaka Beis Din, every time you rely on it to say, is it still?
So that's
very rare that Beis Din.
That's the shita of Rabbi Lazar. The Blazer here holds that it's not clear. Do I have to find out or not? It's really a machlekes. The shita of Rabbi Meir is chayav. He has to be Korban Chatos. It's a mistake.
He's traveling.
Well,
He's traveling, he's not going to know.
no, we're not talking about traveling. That's what Gemara said. The traveling, everybody agree. The Mishnah says, based on Rabbi Akiva, if he's able to this side, he doesn't have to bring. We're talking about he's home. He's right now home. So he may lay. That's what Meir says. You have to know about this. You have to find out. But Shimon says, no, he doesn't have to find out. Rabbi Lazar, he's like, I'm not sure. I hold both Zodim. It's a suffix.
But is it that the obligations him that he had to find out, or there should have been a coil?
Three shittas.
In fact, yeah, there should
Oh,
have been
three
a coil.
shittas. Rameir holds, you don't have to find out. It's your obligation. Your obligation. Shimon says, what do you want from him? Like Benjamin says, I follow the ruling. And Rabbi Lazar says, it's something in between. And that's Ashutol. What? Oh, one second. Says the Gemara. Now let's see the Shida of Simchas.
Then it's like,
Let's see Simchas.
if you live somewhere not
Says the Gemara.
so lives in the boondocks, then it's like being.
Oh, it says the Gemara. Omar Rav Yosi ba'avin v'itemer Rav Yosi ba'zvido moshel the suchus l'mador. The suchus says not even Rosh Hashanah. Why? Says the Gemara lo'odum shivi kaparosoi bein hashmoshes. Someone brought a kapara bein hashmoshes. Something yiboy doing niskapeloi. Something mishachashecha niskapeloi. Person brought korban bein hashmoshes. Did it work or not? I don't know. Because maybe I don't know what Benesh Moshes is. Does anybody know what Benesh Moshes is? No. Everybody doesn't know what Benesh Moshes is. Shein Nevi Ashotoli. Why? Right, so it doesn't mean Ashotoli. Why does it mean Ashotoli? Because there's nobody to ask. Don't tell me even in a case that only Bezim bring the korban in this case. They're doing it quietly. אלא אפילו מהדום הציעו מבין, יפר סמיל סובעב או עמולי, תאוכל בסופק מבוידיום, סופק משחשיכו, ישור לשכח אם יש למשל. Here, if you would ask, nobody would know, right? Oh, sorry, I read it a little wrong. Just one comma over here. It says the Gemara, עמולי תאוכל סופק מבוידיום, סופק משחשיכו, ישור לשכח למשל. There's a problem. That's what the gears on the side. If you see the goes at Tziyunim, they fix it up because there's like a little bit of missing a sentence over here. They say, what does it mean? By Ben Hashmoshes, there's nobody to ask. Because if I ask somebody, I ask him, is it day or night? Nobody knows. Nobody knows if it's day or night because that's what Ben Hashmoshes is all about. Here, you could ask. So it's not exactly the same. So the Gemara is saying, applying here, he didn't have anybody to ask. He was about to eat the chalev, and nobody was there.
There's a little difference between this nobody asked, but it's a double yachal before some, not first time, yachal yedea, versus something that you actually later.
Right? So, what you're saying is that's why we have, every time you have a machlekes, Islam in general, it's klal machlekes. When you have a machlekes, that means this thing is not so clear. That means the question is, what are you naked? You're naked more to this side, more to that side. Yes, obviously, this is not exactly the same. There's similarities. He doesn't have what to ask. He could have asked. So here we have a machlekes. It's a.
Who brings a cup of Benish Moshes? How am I going to bring it? I'm not going to let
Oh, so what happens? When you talk about, like, let's say there was a mistake. It was brought down Benish Moshes. We don't know it was a mistake when it came. Yeah. Says there's a very gishmak of Yisrael Engel that asks. He says, "What do you mean? We have a din of chazaka." So this guy is chayav chatos. The shad is, did he bring a korban chatos or not? He brought it ben hashmoshes. Maybe he was a korban chatos, maybe he's not. If whenever we have a suffix, you have a chazaka, what do you go after the chazaka? So muchzaklan that it's not, they did not bring korban. That's what he asks. So he says a big aside. He says,
That's not chazaka.
why not?
Chazaka is either on the person that tumatara or the
Yeah, tumatara, chiyuv, tumas chiyuv.
Is a chiyuv.
Yeah, I know, when we say chazaka,
that is a chiyuv.
Yeah.
And then after that is not.
That's exactly it. Of course, if you're in moment, you say chazaka is chiyuv. That's the idea of a shor shel goes to paro. You assume she's probably pregnant to be chayav. Same thing. No, it's the same thing. You have chazaka chiyuv too. Yeah, what? Huh? Yeah, it's a chazaka. I don't know if it's chayav or not. Chazaka. Chazaka is a tliya. Chazaka is a pshitus. So he says, he says, what's your suffix? I don't know what Benesh Moshes is. Is it there or not? So with your chazaka, you're going to be pushing what Benesh Moshes is? That you can't do. When I don't know about myself, did I do the Torah or not? Chazaka he did. But here I know everything is clear. I brought it at, let's say by us now, 5 to 8 in Lawrence is Beresh Moshes. Chazaka, that it's not, it's still day. So you can replace it also for Mendy, it doesn't have a curve and it's still day. Says the Yeshiva, you can't do it.
This Chazaka and the guy he's a Baal Chatas, right?
But how are you going to do that?
But you don't know if he brought the Chatas. So the Chazaka,
No, you know, he brought the Chatos of 5 to 8 on a Thursday night.
And what happened? Okay.
So what don't you know? You don't know
if he brought a kosher carbon.
No.
That's not enough.
No. That's all right.
If it was either before.
No.
Yes, 100%. Because it was before British.
You know you brought a kosher carbon. You brought a kosher carbon. Question is, did you bring it on the right time or not?
Okay, so you didn't bring
so I said chazaka.
Then you didn't bring the carbon.
It's a if you think you have to just take a minute to think about it. It's gewaldig. I'm not going to push the carbon. Going to push it now. Is it day or night?
Somebody's mechayim chatas.
Let's think about it. Think about it.
Actually brings the chatas. He's still chiyuv. If you say
chazaka, but how do you go?
We don't know if we brought the chatas.
Whenever you have,
since we don't know we brought the chatas, still a bachas.
So here it goes like this. Whenever you have a suffix,
right?
The way a suffix works the chazaka is push the suffix.
Right.
Not you're saying it's chayav. Why? Because I don't know if it was there or not. So I'm saying based on the chazaka is probably there. Immediately it's chayav. So I know it's chayav. What you have to go to push the suffix?
It's day.
Yes, that's chazaka does. Always chazaka. If I have, so just listen. I have a mikveh. I don't know if the mikveh even though it's a kosher. Is it kosher or not? Shaila is someone went to the mikveh. Kosher is it kosher or not kosher? So what do I say? Chazaka, the mikveh was full, so probably the chazaka continued, and the mikveh is continuing to be full. I appreciate that it's full. Mimele, all the tires should also go and cheers. But after you appreciate the suffix, what's my suffix? Does the mikveh go down or not? Here the question is, day or night? So I want to appreciate the suffix, then probably it's day because it is probably is night because this guy was mechuyev. You can't be appreciated if it's day or night based on that. That's what you're saying.
It's not the chazaka.
Okay,
something else.
Doesn't matter because that's what you have. Always chazaka goes to push your suffix. Chazaka not push another suffix. It's your suffix. But okay, let's leave it. Say it. Says the Gemara Yisha, it's Gavaldik, we're getting such a debate, but it's Daf and Horayos, we have such a long daf, so we can't go too much.
We're all enjoying this.
Gavaldik. You know what I'm saying? We have a short daf, then we should have this. So he says, Yisha Yelashka Inish to Bishayim. Okay, so the Gemara says, we have to the end. Omo Benazai Maishno Mina Yoshev. So Benazai says, in the Mishnah, says, what if someone's traveling, or someone is home? Shavik Kamer there, Bekiva Lebenaz. The Bekiva says, good. In other words, the more understands that Benaz is arguing with Bekiva. So he says, why are you arguing? The Chor is saying good. What is he saying good? He's saying that when someone travels, he is not supposed to know what's going on. If someone is home, he's supposed to know. Says the Gemara, he says there is a machlek. The machlek says someone is already he packed the suitcase and he's on the way to go to Florida. He's in the car. So I don't know about everybody else, but when we go in the car, then all the everybody's very nervous. Who knows? Do we forget the password? Didn't forget the password. They forget the suitcase. They forget the suitcase. You're not very, very focused right now on what's going on. That's the machlokes ben Azar and Akiva. They both agree when you're out of the country, you don't have to know. You're in home, you do have to know. What happens if you're on your way to leave? Are you already considered to be chutzarts or not? What?
It's called Mr. Shen Ferreist or not?
Are
you ready on your way?
Are you wearing or not? Are you ready or not? Says the Gemara. So we learned the Mishnah, and the Gemara is going to bring the Brisa. So if Bezin said this whole mitzvah doesn't exist, it doesn't work. You have to be only a partial mitzvah. Give me the whole mitzvah. There's no need at all. In Shabbos no Shabbos at all. Something, not the entire mitzvah. That's the case of the Mishnah. What's Shemay Sekere? That you have the first 7 days a woman sees the blood, she's a nida. Then in the next 11 days, if she sees 3 consecutive days blood, she's a zav. If she sees 1 day, she's a Shemay Sekere. So they said you don't have it. So yes, Shabbos b'Torah, but Lamoitzi she's a Rabbi Potter, right? Or Yeshua kachoy b'Torah, and Mishtachave Potter. So by Shabbos, the example is he says there's no Itzah, and by Avdichavim there's no Shtachava. So it needs to be something. Omar Maya, Chodi Pturim, the Vikir mixes with the Mektsas Pturim, or Vikir is called Guf Pturim, the Maya Chayav. The verse I don't understand. You wanted to say, how did the Mishnah read, or how did the Bryce read? Could it be that we potter also on a partial mitzvah? So if the potter in the full mitzvah, and a partial mitzvah, so when they'll be chayav. So what Tanya Akashle. Ema Davar Kulam Yusam Ashma, it says Davar, and you said that Davar means something, maybe Davar means the whole thing. Tomaler V'nelam Davar. So what says V'nelam Davar? My Mashma. You said maybe Davar is something, a full thing. So here, as Rashi and Toysa say, the way you read it, you take the mem in the end of Ne'elam and you put it on Dover. You know, so this by Krish was halacha is not to connect the words, to do one. Here you connected the words. Ve'ne'elam Dover. So midover. The midover, not Dover, midover. Says the Gemara, Yechezkel Amar Makov also achas mikol mitzvahs, mikol mitzvahs lo kol mitzvahs. Mikol mitzvahs, not all the mitzvah. So when mitzvahs start the mashra, mikol mashra, partial of multiple mitzvahs, which full mitzvahs is not going to do. It says with one vav, so the ksiv is mitzvahs, not mitzvahs. Rashi Omar Yo Dover Dover Mizoker Mami, you learn from Zoker Mami. Dichtib bi Mizoker Mami ki yofli mimcho Dover lasosu min adover shegid l'choyom min Yismael. Mamir min adover v'lekol Dover. That's a drasha in the Sanhedrin. They has to come and argue on some detail. So you learn from Zoker Mami. Has what?
Why is that by Zoker Mami if he says everything is not?
Because that's a kosov. That's a kosov. The svara is that he's arguing something which is like he says there's no mitzvah there, there's no the chinuch explains what's the Zoker Mami issue, that basically it will become shtei Torahs. Am Yisrael is going to have suddenly Beis says one thing, this rabbi says something else. You have to have a consistent ruling. If the guy comes and argues something which is one of the tying mitzvahs doesn't exist, nobody's going to follow it. Says the Gemara, similar idea. Has to be made is something that the tzdukim don't agree with. Because if the tzdukim agree, that means it's clearly in the Torah. So again, it's not considered to be a harua. Just read the Torah.
What time on Saturday for rings?
5 o'clock in Mincha. My time is the Kabbalah. So you can't argue something which is clearly in the Torah. So now I'm going to go through the examples that we mentioned. This is very interesting. When I was learning, it was bothering me a lot. What do the Tzdukim say? The Tzdukim disagree with Torah Shabbat Peh. Here it says the Sofer Lo. What's the word the Sofer Lo mean? She counts for herself. Here you dashen that they also count young Yeshiva Keregedur. You see, the Tzdukim agree with this drasha. Why? For some reason, some drashas the Tzdukim didn't agree. So the Sofer Lo means the Sofer Dechod Lechod. The drasha which is more fairish in the pasuk, the Tzdukim agree. So they're going to Amri Ha'arah Shari. Kamar Bio Idasir. You know what they're arguing about? If there's Arah, what's Arah? Arah means, it's a machlekes what Arah is. Arah means the shikas aver, just touching, one day and touching each other. Or Arah means achnosas atara, not a full bill. So you want to say it's not a full bill that you have. Hanam Mechtiv is Mekoyer Hera. It's clearly in the Torah Hera, Lashon Hara. Ta'amri Kedarka Asir Shalei Kedarka Shari. To tell you that only Kedarka. Haktim Mishkavei Isha. Mishkavi means two. Ta'am Kedarka also feel Arah. Oh, so that's what they come to say. They agree that you have to have the arol is enough of a bill. They agree Shloi Kedarka is also. But they don't agree that Shloi Kedarka arol is a problem. I feel need the nami. So I have to get to Shemer Yisrael Kedarka. Just say Nido. If a person has a relationship with a Isha Nido, Shloi Kedarka, Bahara, Elohim Kedarka. They say Haro is only B'isha Dov. It's only by Nido, not by Shver Zokeh. And the Chor you don't have to get anymore to Shloi Kedarka. They say with the Omar Zova lo yaver ela b'yamom. Another thing they say, Zova is only when she sees blood during the day, not when she sees during the night. Dichtiv kol yemei zoiv. It's during the day. So we took care of that. What is the need? There has to be something that Tzdukim disagree with, and that's the thing is coming to argue. That's the thing that which Horu based. Today is Shabbos, but Torah, but Moitzi Mishus L'Shus Potter. V'Mayar Tzorek Sivo. It says it's on the Torah. But what does it say? So the pasuk that our Gemara is quoting is a pasuk from Sefer Nehemiah that says Lo Toitziu Mosoi Batech. Some bring a girsa that says Shvui Shtachta V'Yetzi Ish B'Koyim B'Yem Shvi. Different pasuk. Ta'amar Tzor Uda Asor Achnos Amoto. Answer number one. They say, yeah, you're not allowed to take out from Yeshayachit to Yeshayachit. You can bring Yeshayachit to Yeshayachit. If you say you're not allowed to take out, but you're allowed to pass or throw. There's a Torah, but if someone bows down, it says clearly how to do a shtachavoyo. So if you do normal shtachavoyo. The Rashi explains Shoy Kedaka means that it's markulis. It's like for a different avodah. Shtachavoy is only if he's completely laid down on the floor. Shtachavoy is Shayos. That's what they're coming to argue, and that's what it says over basically made a mistake in that. So the Gemara with Avdal and with base. Of Yosef, if they say you have Shabbos, so meaning they're saying what is Rav Yosef asking? They say there is Shabbos, no Charisha. They agree with everything. So it's considered to be partial. But the mice are taking away a full malacha. Now, many of the first should point out that we're talking about here, not Charisha, because Charisha, it says clearly in Torah. It says Chorish, Ferish. So that Zukim agree with. But it's just bringing Charisha as an example of one of the Malachas of Shabbos. Is the first one in the list. Toshma Yishnidu B'Torah V'Labot Shemei Yisur K'neged Yom Potter. V'Maya Hakar Shemei Yisur K'neged Yom Kol Iker. What do you mean? The example of our Mishnah. They said there is nido, but Shemei Yisur K'neged Yom, that they didn't disagree. So they're taking away one whole section of nido. It's simple taking a whole section of Shabbos. Like we answered. Not that Shemei Yisur, that it's Shloy Kedarko, or that it's Harosh Shloy Kedarko, or it's Yoim. Well, the answer was before. Toshma Yesh Shabbos B'Torah V'Moitz V'Shleach V'Shalai Potter. V'Mai Karkin Lo Yitzor Kolika. They said there's no Yitzor. That's one of the Malachas of Shabbos. Hosabnai Kedeshani. There is Yitzor, but they disagree with Achnoso. Or there is Yitzor and Achnoso. They disagree with Moshe V'Zor. Toshma Yesh Shabbos Kechovim B'Torah V'Mishtach V'Be Potter. There's Kechovim, but there's someone else does Potter. V'Mai V'Akin Lo Shtachavoy Kolika. They take away the entire Shtachavoy, which is a whole Malacha of the Zohar. That they agree there's a shtachavoyo, but not Pishu Yadayim Aglaim or Shlo Kedarko. So we talk about a detail. Says the Gemara, boy of there ain't Shabbos b'shvizba. What happens at Bezi Paskin that there's no Shabbos in Shas Shmita? Where is the mistake coming from? Be'adniko b'chorish u'v'kotzer tishbos. This is the pasuk that you have to do shvisa when you have chorish u'kotzer. Only if there's charisha, which means only if there is plowing during the week. So you have a Shabbos on Shabbos. But during the week you can't do charisha because it's Shemitah, so there's no Shabbos. That's the mistake they're saying. Because the rest of the year is a Shemitah, there is Shabbos, so it's only partial. Maybe the thing in Shviz is like Kiras Guf. Question. If the Novi says there's a whole taking away a whole mitzvah, is chayav. Partial. Then he's pot. But if the Zara even partial is chayav. What's a partial? So here the Brisa is giving us an indication what partial means. Because what does it say? What is partial? Partial is that he said One day you can worship of the Zohar, and one day you can't. Some days you can worship of the Zohar, Mondays you can't. So that's some days yes, some days not. Shmamino, it shows the Shviz, Kibitul Mixes, Kibimixes, Dami, Shmamino. You see that if you're taking it away from some of the days, some days you keep it, so it's considered to be not a full Akira, only a partial Akira. Because we're basically asking a definition. We said there has to be a full Akira by Novi. Over Beis is the opposite. It has to be only a partial Akira. What's the definition of a full? What's the definition of partial? So the Gemara brought many questions. One of the questions is, if I do Shabbos some of the years, some of the time there's no Shabbos, the time is Shabbos, is that considered to be full or partial? So the Gemara says it's the partial.
So that was strange.
Why?
Baruch gave one day Shabbos. It was from a kind of Baruch that Shabbos.
Yeah, so
We're talking about that by this on Monday you can't, Tuesday you can't. So
no, so
that could be the situation.
No, but again, but there again, we're talking about I'm taking away some of the days. You don't do the Zohar any day. He says some yes, some not. You have to do Shabbos every year. He says some years that, some years that. So yeah, because we'll give one day, but one day in what years? He says Shemitah, you don't have to do it. So that's, is it considered to be partial? The more concluded is considered to be partial. Says the Mishnah. Hoyu based in.
They made a mistake in the pasuk. Like, why can't they just stand like?
It could be a mistake by Svara.
Like, this week is Shabbos, the next week is not Shabbos. This week is like.
What do you mean? So
It's more like trying to find the pasuk when they made a mistake.
Yeah. So what I don't understand. What do you mean?
Why would it be? I mean,
If there's no pasuk, how do you make that mistake? It says Zochar Shorosh Kacher. You need to have something that gives you the reason to do the mistake, right? So the Mishnah. Are you based in Biyoda Echad Mehem Shetom? Right? So one of the people told him, you made a mistake. We quoted this yesterday's daf. Or the head of Basin, who's the head of Basin? So Rashi points out for the Sugya very much, is Basin was there except the one who's the head is not counterpart of Basin. Because as we said before, they all have to be there, at least according to the what we saw yesterday's daf. So I mean the Mufla is not counterpart of the count. So in the first two cases, maybe they would convince them to change their mind. The third case is a convert, it can't be a dayan. Or mamzer can't be a dayan. Or nosin from the Nasinim can't be a dayan. Or zoken shelo lebanim, zoken who cannot have children, harei is the potter. Now we'll get back to zoken in a moment. Just let's finish the Mishnah. Shema kan eido ma leolon eido. Ma eido amur leolon. That it says in the pasuk, v'shavtu ha'eido. Kulam rim lo has to be everybody roll the raw. Eido amur kan achu kulam rim lo meaning he has to be good people. Can't be a dayan. Can't be a dayan. Someone can't be a dayan. He is not going to be part of the Bezdin who's Horu based. Now here, fasting Rashi says, "Oizok chenu ulibodi." Says Rashi, "Vikashili, v'prema ein roy lo." Why is that roy lo? And Kiyega sends us to where? To Rashi Tzededrin. And Tzededrin Rashi also speaks about Zok chenu lo. Says Rashi, you know why? Why Zok chenu ulibodi can't be a dayan? Because he doesn't have rachmanis. He doesn't have mercy. You have to have children. If a person has mercy, he doesn't deal with children. He becomes very tough. Like, he doesn't have children. So all the first ask, why Rashi? Rashi himself explained in the Tzededrin. What does Rashi say? I don't know. And they come with different answers. The Kesef Mishnah has a mahalach. Why Rashi wanted to say it differently. Some of the first want to say that Rashi understands that Tzededrin is only dealing in the fascists. He's not dealing in the fascists. Then he answers. But here comes the Gavaldic thing. The Reuben Margolius, in his first piece, and he takes Horayos on the Shas that he has on this sector, he says Rashi on Horayos is not Rashi. It's the Rivon. Rivon is the son-in-law Rashi. And one of the rides that he brings, so there's a little shyness. Something's a lot that you see the little shyness. It doesn't sound like Rashi. But he says one of the things, this is a fascinating, only Reuben Margolius could say. He says, when Rashi brings laws throughout Shas, which language is he quoting? French. When the Rivan brings laws, which language is he quoting? Greek. It says Greek. It says in Horayos, the laws all Greek. Raya, it's not Rashi, it's Rivan. He brings that's one of them. That's a Raya, the only room goes could say. But what they want to say, but that answers this question. Rashi said, I don't know why. Rashi said differently. We found did not know that he did not know, didn't agree. Whatever the reason is, he himself did not go with this sheet. Says the Gemara, Oy Sheloya Mufla Shabezi Shom Minolan. If the Mufla is not there, why do we say that anything that Zdukim agree with, so then they're part? Just open the Sefer Torah and do it. It's not Rory basically means that they have a legitimate reason to make a mistake. Something which is clearly written there, that's not considered, that's not a legitimate reason. That doesn't go under the category of Rory basically. Why I'm able to Shabezi Sham now Torah something over here. They should have learned. They should have not learned by the Mufla, the one who teaches. He's the Rebbe. So if he's not there, there's nobody for them to teach. It has to be similar to you, to Moshe Rabbeinu, who's very loyal. Now here the first we have different explanations. Either the Shechina to tell you that Shechina is right to be shoyra on him, or that Rashi brings you two explanations. But let's say second Rashi is have to be tzaddik. A tzaddik if the Shechina is royal to be on him. Another itcha. Like the Gemara said, you brought it twice. I think one of the Zohar mentioned it that you say itcha to tell you that has to be similar to Moshe Rabbeinu as well. One more Mishnah, Zok the Mishnah. How you Bezdin Shagim? V'asu kolakol Shagim. Bezdin made a mistake, and the Tzibur did not know better. Made a mistake too. Not tell me the roy or Dayan. The fellow Bezdin, let's go make a mistake. They didn't know the Bezdin made a mistake. No, the point is to go back to the first Mishnah of the Masechta that if we talk about someone who's roy and he knows Bezdin made a mistake, he should not follow. Mevipa. That's a classic case. Case made a mistake. Everybody else down know better. They bring the korban, which is called a par. Par and doshel. But mizidim also shagigim. They did the Bezdin didn't bemazit. This is a big question. Why would Bezdin do bemazit? What shot the Bezdin doing bemazit? How can it be the Bezdin doing bemazit? One explanation that I should bring is that remember we have to have the entire Bezdin participating. That's what we learned yesterday's daf. They all have to. So it could be that all of them tzaddikim, there's one guy in there that somehow snuck in there that he didn't bemazit. So now the whole base they're doing amazing, but maybe there was one guy who was thinking. That's one of the answers of the Rishonim over here. So the din is Mezidi Vos Am Yisrael did not know better. Maybe Kivs of a Seir. So Am Yisrael to bring that Kivs of a Seir, they don't have a din Hori based in. So what's the Kivs of a Seir? Regular Korban Chatos, like any other person who made a mistake. Shoygig and Vos Mezidim. If Am Yisrael, if the Beis Din made a mistake, but Am Yisrael were Mezidim. Harei Lupturim. Then they're potter. Would you be potter? Potter from a korban. Power no shel tzibur. The Am Yisrael is not going to be is mazy. They don't bring a korban. Was only bring a korban only for a shogeg. They were mazy. And power no shel tzibur comes only when the Am Yisrael found them. So here you're going to be potter.
So the Mason knew Bezin was wrong.
Yeah.
The Bezin reversed, or they just
They knew Bezin was wrong, and different than the first Mishnah where he thought he's supposed to follow Bezin. Here they did it Bezin. Or the other option, I think some say it. Maybe they didn't even know the Pesach of Bezin. Meaning they did it because they thought they knew that they were doing something wrong. Yeah, the pot of a korban chatos. Yeah, of course, but not in the korban. Chayav on the oynish. If there's eidim asra, says the Gemara, shoygim also mezidim harei lupturim. So the Gemara says shoygim also mezidim. They didn't maze it. They didn't maze it, meaning they knew what they're doing. So then there's no korban. Mashma has shoygim do with the mezid. Maybe it was a mistake, but it's similar to mezid. Chayav. What will be the case is similar to Bezdin? That's the case we have in that base. Bezin said you're allowed to eat chelef. He thought he's eating shuman. He's eating kosher meat. But by mistake, he ate the treif meat. And he ate what? Chelef. He ate the chelef. But he thought he's eating shuman, so he didn't even know. Oh, so it's a shaygin to do with the maze. Why is it called do with the maze? Because Because if you tell him, oh, one second, what are you doing? This is Chalif. He would not stop. But he made it was a Shoyke, because he thought he was eating Shuman, but it's Dumi the Mason. He wouldn't have stopped because he's following Mason. Right? That's the question we asked in our base. Well, I'll tell you, no. Really, when it says in the Sefer, Mizidim, what it says, Shoygigim v'osu Mizidim, not allowed to come Mizidim. Shoygigim v'osu, either Mizidim or close to Mezid, meaning they didn't follow Bezin. Either they didn't follow Bezin because they knew the Bezin made a mistake, or they didn't follow Bezin because they didn't know what Bezin said, or they didn't follow Bezin because they made an honest mistake. They thought they needed Shuman. That's all included. So why it says Mizidim? Because the beginning of the Mishnah says Mizidim, so then the Mishnah says Mizidim as well, but really not that being around from here to what we spoke about in Daf base. So what?